What's going on, guys? Ziad here from Between the Lines. It's been such a long time, it feels like. I don't think we recorded for over a week, and that was the first time. Just too many things all at once coming together. I mean, when was the last time we uploaded? We uploaded 10 days ago. You'll never see that happen again.
We
But
can't give
it's been
those
a.
promises.
Nah, how about this? 7 days is what we'll try to limit the distance between the videos. But it's been a tough 10 days, all schedules kind of conflicting. Surprise, surprise, Num Num's not here. The guy that talks shit about, yo, Zia, this is not a part-time job. If you want to grind, if you want to do your own thing, he's not here. So make that,
It's because Chelsea
this
lost
is the
too.
second time.
Wink, wink.
I don't think he cares about Chelsea anymore because of his work. This guy has to wake up early nowadays for to go to the office. But yeah, to be honest, today's episode won't be too long. We're gonna cover pretty much three games that happened over the weekend, and the first game is obviously Arsenal Chelsea, and one of the co-hosts who's a Chelsea fan is not here, which is Num Num. But 1-0 to Arsenal. Moreno, the striker, the new upgraded striker from Havertz. It's low key, he might be better than him, scoring a goal
Compose,
again.
compose.
Palmer not playing today. He's gonna get an X-ray tomorrow and Monday to take a look at to see what's going on. There might be an injury. He won't go to England to play. But Chelsea underwhelming, not playing kind of to their. To be honest, for a fight to top four,
Yo,
doesn't
it
seem like
was a
they're
dead
really
game, but
battle.
Chelsea were embarrassing. There was no effort. Like some of my players will not have an easier game. Like the
Yeah.
fullbacks, Skelly and Timber. I don't think they'll have an easier game this season.
Well, when you have Nkunku and Sancho on the wings,
Uh,
you might not struggle a lot.
we had a obviously the thing is both teams were marred by injuries, but like
Yeah.
to be honest, like there's a chance like Arsenal were gonna be like you know what second, try not to get to top four. Like you would think Chelsea would have been motivated to come out, but they were
Yeah.
just nothing was happening. Like I don't think you missed anything from the game. It was
Yeah.
we played better in the first half. Chelsea were just non-existent in both halves, and in the second half we just held possession. And anytime we had to defend, we get in our shape, and Chelsea just play it around until they lose the ball. It was pretty woeful. Like the game in general was pretty boring. It wasn't as good as the previous games, even.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but the previous games were 1-1 and 5-0, right? So
Well, give me that 5
you
0 all
guys,
day.
yeah. Yeah, of course, any time of the day. But what do you think went well for you guys?
Uh,
What do you think went
Honestly,
good?
I don't
Or
even
you think it
think
was just a normal game, one goal, and that's
the
it?
thing is, I don't think I learned anything from my team. It's genuinely we
Mm.
played the exact same way we played the past few weeks. I did tell Num Num before the game. I was like, I think Arsenal gonna play better this game, or at least the possession will be a bit better, just because
Yeah,
just similar, not as similar to PSV, but in a similar way, Chelsea will try to play or attempt.
yeah,
So they weren't as defensive,
yeah.
so there was space. So like Odegaard was operating better. Um, Players like Rice, I thought Odegaard had a decent game. Martelli had a decent game, but some players, Partey and Trossard, I cannot wait for this season to end just for both of them to leave. These
So is there
players,
any news about Martinelli?
he played today. He actually
But
dropped.
did he get subbed off for an injury?
No, no, no.
Wasn't he
He
injured?
was gonna get subbed off regardless. Like before he
Oh,
fell to
okay.
the ground. He was the next sub out.
Oh, okay,
It
okay.
just happened
So
that
not a bad
it
injury.
just
Okay.
happened that he fell on the ground the moment he was about to get subbed. But he was the one that to be subbed out. Um,
Yeah,
Trossard Party. I think the scoreline could have been higher, but unfortunately, Trossard Party both had chances to put players through. Picked out the worst possible pass you'll ever make in your life. Uh,
but these players are all squad players that are starting. That's my kind of issue. That it seems like these players don't deserve to start.
that's the
Like
thing.
Trossard is not a starter. Yeah,
These players are not starters. Moreno, I can't complain too much. I don't rate him as a DM. I don't think I'll
of
rate him as a
course.
striker. But the thing is, the Premier League is in such a bad state. Since Moreno has moved as a striker in the Premier League, he's scored the third most amount of goals, which is the only people ahead of him were like
Yeah.
Salah and Marmoush, and that tells you something about the league right now.
It's concerning how many the lack of goals that are happening around the league. But Moreno, a header goal from the corner, another set piece FC goal. But to be honest,
People
it
can't
takes
call
you
us
through.
set piece FC. You know, we haven't scored a free kick in like since December 25th, 22nd, I think. We actually have not scored a set piece. We were
Jesus.
struggling.
The thing is now, I just wonder what Chelsea's gonna do because they're in a situation where they spent a lot of money on a lot of players. They have this project that they really put everything towards, and it's kind of a long term project. I know maybe, none of them said top four or nothing for this season, so I think none of them wants him fired if he doesn't get top four. But do you think Maresca turns this around? Like, I really don't know. A lot of doubt
With the
against Maresca is
injuries,
happening
the
right now.
thing is, I didn't know Palmer was going to be injured before the game, but the team looks
Yeah,
hopeless.
yeah. No one
Like
did. Yeah,
Jackson Palmer out, and like even Midwake because Midwake is still better than Neto and like Sancho, and like
yeah.
the players
Well,
they
Sanchez for sure.
and the thing is, you're gonna have to look at recruitment. Recruitment is not gonna fall on Maresca, but like he's not getting anything out of the players. Sancho right now is 18 games, no goals, no assist.
Yeah, yeah.
You're getting
He's
nothing out
dead.
of there.
He has to go back to Bundesliga. That's what I suggest. Go
Neto
back to Bundesliga. You can play well there.
Nkunku's like low key finished at Chelsea. Like he needs to leave alone just to
Oh,
maybe
for
like get a
sure.
better. I don't know if he can turn it around just because if a team plays against him in a deep block, they're struggling. Like it's
Yeah,
actually a bad joke right now. Like they had nothing going offensively. Raya could have had a chair in net and he was comfortable.
yeah. Well, there's this thing about so a lot of Chelsea fans and even Caicedo after the game, he said that like Arsenal have been playing together for 7 years or 8 years, whatever it is, and now for them it's just 2 years.
The
And
thing is that comment is funny because if you compare the starting 11, I get what he was trying to say because he's trying to give credit to his team, but half of our starters
yeah,
right now were not playing with each other. Like Rice was not with us for
mm-mm,
7 years. Skelly was like 14, 12 years old. Raya wasn't in our team.
yeah,
Gabriel Saliba were not there 7 years ago. Like I know he was trying to make like an outlandish statement, but like it was not
yeah,
factual whatsoever. Like we were not there for 7 years. Maybe Arteta was there, but this
yeah, yeah.
starting
Not the
11
whole
was
team
not there.
together. Not the whole team. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Like, thing is, like, I think like you said, he's trying to uplift the team, especially after a bad performance, and like you competed for top four, and the issue is not for Chelsea is that you have Nottingham Forest, who's relatively doing well still, that they might actually clinch top four, and you're gonna be out of it. Now, do you fire Mariska? Do you stay with him? Because you probably do have to stay with him to be
The
honest.
thing
Like,
is, I'm not exactly sure, but I do believe in the Premier League that they're going to get the fifth spot in Champions League. But for me,
yeah,
if he gets six, so he might escape personally. But if he gets sixth, because it gets sixth, that's when I'd say he would get fired. Because for me, if you look at it this way, if Newcastle, because they didn't play a Premier League game this weekend, if
yep,
they win their
yep.
game in hand, they're ahead of City
They're
and
ahead of them.
Chelsea.
And Chelsea, yeah.
And
Yeah.
the only important part of this game, because we learned nothing about either teams that we didn't know about, the most important thing
Yeah.
was the 3 points. Because the 3 points, if we lost that 3 points, it would have been deadly.
Yeah.
Like right now, we're a bit more of a cushion now again, at least separating
Yeah.
us from like City, Chelsea,
10 points.
Newcastle.
10 points from City.
Yeah,
10 points
like
from City.
Nottingham is like 4 points, but it's like okay, like I genuinely at this point don't care about the second or third in the season. I genuinely
Yeah.
don't care about the Premier League anymore. I'm just kind of looking at the Champions League game,
Champions
and
League.
if it goes well, it
Yeah.
goes well. If it gets we get mauled, we get mauled.
Yeah, because you guys are honestly in a situation where it's just like you'll try your best. You guys are, to me, you guys are one of the best defensive teams in the world by far. And like, I'm not saying you could beat Madrid, but if you keep it tight, you keep it close, there is potential to go to penalties
Uh,
and do it that way.
the only thing I wish Arteta did different in this game, just for the sake of like trying something different against Madrid, was I would have hoped that he would have started Martinelli in striker with Trossard Wanieri on the
Mm.
right, just because I think against Madrid we do need a bit of pace against their defense on the
Yeah.
counter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
one thing, of course, like with Moreno up front, we're going to be very slow. But I think against Madrid we need to at least attempt to be quick, at least on the
Yeah.
counter.
Yeah.
But that's for another game. Honestly, this game was just
Yeah.
a bore fest.
A dead game, yeah. Listen, we don't have to kind of keep talking about this game because it was dead. I mean, Liverpool, no double, no treble, just a single. If they don't bottle the league, I mean, they're not gonna bottle it. There's no way. They lose 2-1 to Newcastle. Chiesa scores the only Liverpool goal. The only player that kind of really gave them hope at the last like 20 minutes or so. What do you think of the game?
Yo, this has been a successful hate along, I think, for like a week. Like
Yeah,
starting with
yeah,
their
yeah,
downfall
yeah.
on PSG. Listen, I think Liverpool. This is like their first, I would say, bad stretch in the Premier League. Like they maybe had a couple of draws there and there, but like this has been like a
Mm,
bad like maybe stretch of 3 to 4 games because I think they played Southampton during the midweek and like during the weekend last weekend they beat them comfortably, but they were outplayed against PSG both home and away.
for
And
sure.
this game they were like just completely outplayed. They were not in the game from minute one.
Thing
Um,
is, it's like you question the tactical thought of Slot because it felt like they were playing long balls.
they were playing long
Why?
balls, and like it showed you right now, like how I feel like a lot of teams like respected Liverpool way too much. Like defensively,
Yeah,
like if you can lock Salah out of the game, it looks like you can like just lock out Liverpool completely. And I think like a lot of like for example like Dan Burn, I know he scored like the first
yeah,
goal, but the way he was defending and even helping the fullback on Salah, Salah had no chance. Like he
yeah,
was literally getting zero service. And maybe Slot should have figured out a way maybe to get like Salah on the ball to like at least
yeah.
create something. But like Newcastle just shut them down, and all the dangerous chances went to Newcastle. Van Dijk had a
100%.
shocking game in my opinion, which is good
Yeah,
because like he skates with a lot of things.
a lot of things. But like, let's just go back to the long balls to Jota. Your Slot, you're going to long balls to Jota, who's not gonna be burned, not gonna be shot in the air. You don't really switch up your kind of tactical approach till the last 20 minutes where Chiesa was, doing very well. It's just a question mark towards Slot because to me it seems like a Slot issue more than a team issue. Now Salah is isolated, not getting the balls he needs, and you kind of have to figure it out because I've seen great players that are on the wing or in striker, and they some teams realize what, he's the only threat. If we isolate him or we put him in a situation where he's not comfortable, then the rest don't do anything for us. So Luis Diaz, like, he's not the player that people want him to be. He's probably going to be gone this summer. But my issue was tactically how they approach this game is big question mark. Also, I want to highlight Newcastle's midfield, man. Like, what a perfect midfield, full of engines, pretty good technically. Tonali, Bruno, Jolinton. It's like the perfect dream midfield that you would want, especially in the Premier League, because in the Premier League they'll do very well. And you know what's funny? Even though we give them so much praise, where are they in the league? They are sixth. They're still close to even. By the way, top four, and like even if people want to shit on, like, for example, Aston Villa, between a ninth to fourth, it's 3 points. Anyone can. I'm
I
sorry,
think
4 points.
genuinely
Uh,
this year, like the title race is done. I think the relegation like battle is done. It's just the top four.
yeah,
That's where like there's
yeah,
life.
100%.
For me,
100%.
I
It's
agree with
too
you.
much competition.
Newcastle's midfield has always been like raved about, and I think the one
Yeah.
thing that Liverpool might have to look at during the summer is probably improving on that front line because I think like
Yeah.
in my opinion, Nunez doesn't work, but Jota doesn't work either. I know they probably got screwed a bit because like Gakpo did get like a knock like for the past couple of weeks, but
Yeah.
like it's just the experiment of like Jota and like Nunez is just like similar to like how like other managers do like this typical sub. Like it's just 56 minutes, 60th minute, just sub the two out because like neither of them are working. Like they might get you the occasional goal, but it's just not good
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. Thing is, I think Gakpo's still good enough to be on the squad. I just think Diaz is a player that will never improve because he's always on the go. He's always like pushing heavy. He's always like when he touches the ball, like he just seems erratic. You can't control him, and some players and you're never able to do that. Also, just a shout out to Newcastle's 70-year break without the title, without a silverware, which is a huge jar to kind of break.
On Slot's
Um,
head.
e- on Slot's head. And now I remember Wassim mentioning a couple of episodes ago about Slot. He's saying he's a good manager, but let's save all the sprays, right? Like let's wait it out. Let's see next season what he does. And now we're seeing kind of the players maybe tired. Maybe players are being figured out. Maybe they're like, oh, it's Salah FC. Maybe this team is just Salah FC. So now I'm interested to see what happens next season, and how he's gonna approach the team. And maybe if the team gets weaker, or maybe they lose a Van Dijk, maybe Salah, Arnold, for example, how is this team gonna look?
Like I will never blame Liverpool for like winning this year. At the end of the day, other teams got injured, but you take advantage of the situation you're in. But again, I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
yeah,
like my Arsenal team just got shafted with injuries, and like you
yeah,
saw how City was at the beginning of the season. They were doing all right until like Rodri like got injured and then just completely fell apart.
yeah,
Like Liverpool are even where they like low key they're where they were like last year in the league wise, but Arsenal and City just completely fell off. So listen, I would definitely see like where Liverpool do next season, for example, especially with even the contract
yeah,
situations. But again, I
yeah,
just think we're like just throwing the word elite and world class way too quickly on slot. Like congratulations for this
yeah.
season, but like let's wait it out.
Yeah. Also, this is just maybe if none of them listens to this. I don't know if our own hosts listen to this, but Salah, he has zero non-penalty goals and like what 11 finals, I believe. Question mark? Question mark?
Listen,
I don't know.
on top of
I'll just
that,
leave it out there.
on top of that, I know we're gonna probably talk about Yamal in the
Killing it.
next segment very shortly. But I
Yeah.
think this is Yamal's Ballon d'Or to lose. I don't think Salah has a chance anymore in the Ballon d'Or. That's just my opinion.
So so funny enough, we had iftar this weekend, and me and Namnam were arguing. He's telling me that it doesn't really matter because he had a historic Premier League season, right? And I was telling him that I think that we've seen in the past where if someone gets knocked out in the Champions League this early, typically they're out of the Ballon d'Or. Now it's not up to me or you to say, oh, that's fair or not. These voters will always think that way. So Wasim, do you think that if you were to vote, would you vote for Salah?
I think I'll vote Yamal because typically, genuinely, like for example, last year, if Rodri didn't win the treble, do you think Vinicius would have not
Yeah,
won that? Don't
yeah,
you
yeah. He
think
would have
like there
won it.
was a value of Rodri winning the treble? I
Yeah, yeah,
think
for sure.
historically winning like outside of maybe between because I don't remember like the years between Messi and Ronaldo to be honest with you like
Yeah,
I don't remember
yeah, yeah.
exactly each person's win each year, but typically
Season, yeah,
I don't think like winning a Premier League is gonna win you like the
the
Ballon
Ballon
d'Or.
d'Or,
It's just
Ballon d'Or, yeah,
and
yeah.
like I don't genuinely don't even think the Carabao Cup even mattered in this. The voters are not gonna
Oh,
look.
it
Oh,
doesn't
you know
matter.
what? Oh, he won the Carabao Cup, but like
Yeah,
just winning a Premier League compared to potentially Yamal still winning the league, still possibly winning
yeah,
Champions League, still possibly winning the Euros in the summer. They're gonna go for
yeah,
that. Like even like because Yamal, it's not like oh Yamal, oh he just won the treble. He's scoring clutch goals just like Salah has scoring clutch goals.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But thing is, no. Here's the thing with that statement: is like he's not scoring as much as Salah, but he is scoring. But I think Salah provides a different kind of like he's been performing without scoring or assisting. Like he's been killing it. He's a top assister of La Liga. He's been killing it just overall his game. So like again, I can't. I don't just Salah. I don't judge Yamal over scoring, while we judge Salah over scoring because Salah's game is primarily scoring. I know none of us gonna say, look at his assist. I know that. But like Salah, typically he's a goal scorer, and Yamal to me is like more of a playmaker. So
And
I
like
agree with you. I still think Rafinha should be up there too, and Dembele. Because you never know if PSG
and
win the
and
treble too.
and
You never
listen,
know.
like Salah and Liverpool getting out in the round of 16 does matter. Like
It does, yeah.
people are gonna have that in mind. Like oh, it's not like oh Salah got unlucky in both games. He got marked out of the game in both games. And look, you
100%.
could say like I know every game is important in the league because like you need points, but like when you think about it, knockout Champions League are like the biggest games that like voters or someone is gonna remember, and like he just got
Yeah.
marked out of the game in both
That's what
games.
I've been saying. That's what I've been saying. And like, okay, even if he might got marked out of the game for both games, if they went through, and again, you can blame his team. That's fine because I do blame his team. I'm not gonna blame Salah for 2 games of the season, like for him underperforming. But when your team doesn't perform and put you through, the Ballon d'Or gets lost, and that's why Ballon d'Or typically you have to praise your team, be like appreciate the team because it's a team game at the end of the day. So I agree with you. I don't think Salah wins the Ballon d'Or. I think it's between Dembele, Yamal, or Rafinha. To be honest, and Rafinha has better stats than Yamal this season. And again, judges love to look at that. I would love Yamal to take it. I still think it's gonna be between Rafinha and Dembele. I don't think they're gonna give it to someone that young, man. I don't know.
Like I genuinely
Too young.
think, depending, because I still think honestly this could be a Real Madrid Barca final in Champions League. It's that Ballon d'Or is going to be in one way or another in
Oh,
Spain.
Or Mbappe, right?
Like I know, like I don't think it's Vinicius because Vinicius low key has such a
Yeah,
drop off since last year. I still think Mbappe
yeah.
could win it, but
He
again,
could.
but like for me, that's why I'm saying Yamal is because at least Yamal was also consistent at the beginning of the season. Like Mbappe was just nowhere to be found, and like at the beginning of the season,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
Yeah, but again, I remember like even Ballon d'Ors in the past where maybe say Ronaldo doesn't have the best start, he'll finish off the season, he'll kill it, and that's what people will remember. So listen, Mbappe kills in the run in the next quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals in the Champions League. Potentially wins the league title because by the way, the league title is very tight. You're seeing Mbappe winning the Ballon d'Or, and I don't know how Vinicius is gonna feel with his ego. I can see Vinicius leaving, to be honest. So let's see what happens. It's gonna be really kind of nice to watch. I just cannot have Mbappe win it. To be fair, it'll be a disaster, especially his first season. That'd be crazy. And by the way, Mbappe has 31 goals now. In the first season in the with Real Madrid, Ronaldo had 33, and Ronaldo, and Mbappe's still going. So he's gonna definitely break that. And he's been having like a historic
He's
season.
breaking it on our heads in 2 weeks.
Legit. Oh my god. Let's see what happens. One more game. Barcelona Atletico Madrid. Weird game because when Sorloth scored, I really thought it was over. I thought, we just didn't play good enough. We didn't create enough. And I thought Atletico Madrid did a very good job to limit our players. And then Lewandowski scores an amazing, amazing striker goal where he touches it one time and hits it in the box. And props to Lewandowski, man, because like he was playing a shit game, completely shit game, and this reminds me of what Salah always said that what Wenger told him. He's like, always just stay in the game. You might have a moment, you might be having a shit game, but always be ready for a moment. And that's what I felt like Lewandowski did. Lewandowski gets us back in the game. Uh, after now we're 2-1. Ferran Torres, man, props to you because I always liked Ferran Torres. By the way, just he wasn't working out, and he kills it off the bench typically. Came off for Almo. Almo again, kind of disappointing game, but I give him a pass because he does care. He does give us some clutch goals. Ferran Torres comes in. He kind of plays like an attacking midfielder role, like a second striker role, and he absolutely kills with his finishing. So I think maybe he's not a left winger. Maybe he's behind the striker more than anything. So props to Ferran Torres for getting us kind of back. And Yamal, even though the goal was lucky, he was still trying stuff, man. All game, dribbling, trying to make a killer pass, trying to hit the ball. And that's what I like about Yamal. He's always on the go. He's always trying and he's smart with it. So, yeah, we win the game. 92nd minute, Yamal. Ferran Torres kind of finishes off in 98th minute. What I wanted to say is that Atletico Madrid seem to have this issue where they can't keep a lead, and I really think it's because of their back line.
I
Because
was gonna be disrespectful about that because I don't know. Like I know like Madrid has like won a couple of titles, and I can't
yeah,
say this like as Arsenal fans because we haven't won anything in like significant 20 years. But it just like it feels like Spurs, not like from like the perspective
yeah,
like they're always close, but they collapse near the
yeah,
end. Like in
they
Champions
collapse. Yeah,
League, they just have a curse against Madrid. They just cannot get through them, and like
yeah,
what was it like? A month ago we were saying, oh, Atletico Madrid just snuck ahead of like Barca and Real Madrid, and they could like spend the gap, and then they just started dropping simple points like a loss to Getafe, drop points to Celta Vigo at
yeah,
home, drop points to like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
or like a loss to Leganes, and it's like it's just like silly points. They did have a tough couple of weeks, like I know in like the span of two, like in March, they in the span of 2 weeks they played Madrid twice, Barca twice, and it felt like
yeah.
they just ran out of like gas today, especially
Steam.
that
Yeah, yeah,
like they played extra time like 4 days before. But yeah, it
yeah,
felt
yeah.
like typical Atletico Madrid. I don't know how to say it other than that. It's like they had
Yeah,
a lead, the game is
I
in their
do
hands.
see that. Yeah, I do see what you mean because like they do bottle a lot, and like I know people gonna because they have this perspective with Simeone where thing is here's how you can look at it too. Well, there's two ways. So you can look at it. Okay, maybe they're the team that doesn't spend as much as Real Madrid and Barcelona, even though you can argue that they've been spending a good amount of money the last few years, especially the last window. They did spend money. So the criticism to, again, Simeone, who has done such a good job with Atletico Madrid, is valid because you're bottling way too many times. I know you have this passion merchant on the side that wants to get the team hyped up, but I get them hyped up to finish the game off. 2-0 up, you cannot lose this game. Even if they draw the game, it's fine, but you cannot lose this game. And I really didn't. I was really pissed off because I thought we were gonna lose this, but Atletico Madrid seems to have this bottling gene, and like you said, they have a tough couple of weeks. Getafe away, go to Real Madrid, to Barcelona, then play Barcelona. Now they play Espanyol next, then they play us next, then Sevilla away. So they're having a couple of tough, games coming up. But this is where the teams kind of get together. We had this stretch of runs, and I think we did a good job. So it seems like Atletico Madrid, like you said, honestly, they are kind of the Spurs of Spain, but at the same time, Spurs is 15.
Yeah. Like
So
it's just from the
yeah,
perspective
Spain
of like bottling. But you
bottling,
did
yeah,
mention the back four, and honestly, like their team does need revamping. Like I know they may be like in transition. I know they spent a lot of money on Alvarez, but like even
yeah,
defensively, this team is like completely different from what it used to be. And like
yeah.
Simeone is known to be a defensive coach, and if you can't keep a lead, that's a problem because you
On
that
yeah,
should
that's the
be
problem.
that's what you were known to for, like 1-0, like
Yeah,
2-1 at most, and you just kill off the games. But it's just
it's because you start someone named Lenglet. Why is he starting? So like I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, Jimenez. Like I don't know. Hold on. I don't remember who started in the back line. I think it was Lenglet and Jimenez.
Norman. Yeah, it was Norman and
Norman,
McGlynn.
Norman. Yeah. Why not start Jimenez and Norman? So Lenglet has been really, in my opinion, the reason why they lost these two games. Last game against Real Madrid. Well, no, not lose, but like
They should have
the
lost it
game
because of the
before.
penalty. No, it was the penalty that
The
he's the one that
penalty, yeah,
conceded. Mbappe cooked him.
yeah, cooked him, and you're taking him down. And this game, I felt like he wasn't good enough. So to me, it's like you have these players play 90 minutes that are gonna bottle you the lead. They cannot play the full 90 minutes. Lenglet should not be starting at all. He should be a completely squad player. If someone gets injured, he plays. But maybe Jimenez has a knock. Maybe Jimenez can't start for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, but there's an issue there. They tried to go five in the back. It didn't work out. Their midfield, Barrios played like a shit game himself, to be honest. Griezmann has been kind of underwhelming this season, but they really can't change it up. I don't know why Gallagher wouldn't start. Like, that's a question mark. Sorloth scoring again. By the way, he has 6 goals in a row against us, which is pretty wild. But I just feel like there's an opportunity to not start these players that are costing you games. By the way, Ronaldo, whatever his name is, I don't like him. I don't think he's a good amount fullback. But yeah, at the end of the day, your center backs are costing you. I thought we played a really good game in the second half, especially going down. And this is where flick gives you the mentality. We're 2-0 down. You're kind of down about it. And by the way, I just want to also say before I keep going is that handball kind of makes sense why it didn't get called because the ball went back to us. So when that happens, advantage gets goes for our way. And then when we lost the ball, we kind of conceded the goal. So that's why the handball was not called. Now, you could criticize the rule, but the rules are the rule. So 2-0 down, we could have bitched about the referee, we could have moaned, and we come back. So props to Flick for being able to kind of instill this mentality towards our team. Looking back to Barcelona back in the day, we would have lost this game 3-0 and never came back. But Atletico Madrid deserves kind of a lot of criticism towards the way they approach the finals of the games and the ways they bottle some of the things. So yeah, happy to get the 3 points. Now we're first place with a game ahead, and a game behind, and we're 60 points tied with Real Madrid. So it's gonna be a close title race. We have 5 wins in the last 5 games. We're on fire, and now we go play Dortmund, which should be relatively easy to kind of
Now,
beat
now,
them in the
now it's
Champions League.
time to throw some like what is it? Some plot twists with some injuries in international break for no reason in March.
Why do we have international breaks, man? I can't be asked. I swear,
Uh,
like,
that
but at least we play Girona coming back, at least at home, and then we have the Copa del Rey second leg against Atletico Madrid. So Atletico Madrid could revenge us there because I think they won't win the title this season. But you never know. And to be honest, if I look at the league, the next games that are coming up, the toughest game that we have, to be honest, is Real Madrid at home, Espanyol away, and Bilbao away. And Espanyol away, we should beat them, but Bilbao will be tough. So, and I really do see Real Madrid keep dropping points. But we're both competing for the Champions League and this, so it'll be interesting. This reminds me back in the day. Both teams really doing well.
Listen, I do think like at least like there. I know we don't rate the Nations League, but there's at least some international games to look forward to because it's actually good teams facing each other.
Yeah,
But give me back to the Premier League. But I just want the season to end as per get completely depressed.
we'll
And
see.
and listen, this it's my final dagger is gonna be Champions League because I cannot wait for Mbappe to do his celebration in the middle of the carpet.
Oh, so sad, man. I wish you guys were not
I
injured.
I, I think
It would have been
Saka.
nice.
The thing is, I wouldn't rush him back. Arteta did mention that he's actually recovering well and he's gonna be in like full team training. I
Yeah.
think still the home leg might be too soon for him, but genuinely I think this tie is gonna be decided in the home game because like we have to like I think we spoke about this like off the podcast, but like Arsenal has to win the home leg.
100%. 100%. And again, we'll see what happens. I think if you guys keep it close, do what Atletico Madrid did, you guys can kind of go to penalties, but it's hard because you guys are going away from home in the second leg. So it makes it a lot harder for you guys. But that's pretty much it. Num Num not here again. That's kind of the
We're gonna
biggest
have to
takeaway of this.
hold Num Num hostage on the next podcast because we need to rewatch some of his takes and see what his takes are now about Chelsea, especially about Maresca.
About Maresca, especially about Maresca. That was criminal. A lot of criminal takes were given, by the way. Listen, I'm the producer, so I gotta go back and edit some of the clips. Maybe next time he gets on the podcast, I'll just stop playing his clips. Wallah, I just gotta find the time. That's all I gotta do.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, legit, we'll leave it at that. We'll do the predictions. Actually, no, Champions League is not for a while. Yeah, we might have a prediction episode coming up for next week. Actually, wait, we have the fucking National
International
League.
break. Next league game.
Yeah,
The funny thing is, I think the next games also in in England are gonna be FA Cup weekend or something. So there's not even gonna be Premier League games.
honestly, there's some. I mean, there's some good games in Nations League. Croatia, France, Italy, Germany, Netherlands, Spain. I mean, maybe we do a prediction
Yeah.
for those.
Listen,
Looks
Arsenal
juicy.
don't play again until April 1st. Yeah, I'm gonna have a nice break.
That's nasty. That's nasty. Okay, let's close it off. I'm tired. And yeah, we'll see you guys later this week. Check us out on YouTube. Please like and comment and subscribe. Please and thank you. And check us out on Spotify if you'd rather use that. Yeah, we'll leave it at that and peace.
Peace.